Welcome to the new Wabu Order podcast. I go by the name of Wabu. Today I got a special guest with me. Introduce yourself, sir.
You already know who it is by the sound of my voice. But for some of you that are not familiar with my voice and you see me in person, my name is Antonio Hash, and I am the Sheriff of Roanoke City. Yeah, we're going to have that conversation.
Yeah, we got it. And I see you got the whole regalia on. I thought you was going to come suited and booted, but you came with the uniform on.
It was my goal to come in normal clothes, but, you know, this job is the real life.
Yeah.
It don't stop. I'm always on the clock. And so I thought it would have been robbery of not showing up today after I committed myself to this process. So came straight from work down here.
And we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And you said today was busy. Just in the city in Roanoke, Virginia, the Star City, it was some things going on today.
Yeah, the city gets busy. You know, it's just not today, but the city has a tendency of, you know, the weather. When the weather starts changing, people start getting out of their shell. They get to the point where they start, you know, things start happening in the city, good, bad, and ugly. So we got to take it for everything. But I don't like what's happening in our city, but. You know, it's not nothing new. It's been on the rise for a while.
And you know, people's starting to really go crazy because they coming out of COVID. You know, restrictions, things starting to open up. So they just people been cooped in the house.
Absolutely.
So they just out here, woo, like it's going crazy. But with that gun violence in the city, and I know you were doing some things, and there's other people doing things involving gun violence. What is it with gun violence? Why do you think we having a spike?
Well, I think the gun violence comes from, again, we have a lot of communities in our own city that they're living in this impoverished state. And a lot of times when people's mentality don't change, how do you expect them to change? It's like taking a person in poverty. If you don't take them out of that environment and give them another opportunity, they're gonna wreak havoc. And a lot of these people, they financially can't come out of these situations. They stuck. You know, is the city giving them opportunity? Because the city can only do but so much. You know, they put programs and stuff in place, but if we don't change the culture of our communities, how they live in, the financial state, the mental state, you know, because mental is a major part of it too.
Exactly.
You say we just came out of COVID, people cooped up in their homes, mentally they're not there. And now we give them an opportunity to get back out in these streets. They running rapid. So it's like we have to figure out the culture of what change do we want to see in our city. And it don't just start with us law enforcement. It starts as a city as a whole, collectively making something look like it.
And I like the way you just said that. And I always tell people, especially in the black community.
That's right.
The church is the cornerstone of the black community.
Right. Come on.
Right? I feel that they left that position. Right? I think, like, you know, back in the days, people used to go to church for everything, marriage counseling. If I had a problem with you, you had a problem with me, we go to the church and sit it down. Even if I wasn't a Christian, if like the church was involved with the community, now it seems like the church is just, we by ourselves. We a separate entity. We ain't part of the community.
Well, I think that the culture is changing.
Not every church.
And it's not every church. You got some churches that understand the dynamic of community, getting back out here and showing face. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, how do the people supposed to come in? They come in by us compelling them to come, which means churches got to get out of the four walls of their church, go into the hedges and the highway and compel them. They ain't coming to you because you look nice. They ain't coming to my department because I got on a black uniform unless you go to the community. I vow as an agency to come back from behind my desk. Yes, the desk is important.
Yes.
But you can't get it done sitting behind a desk. So what do? You show up. You go into the communities. I told somebody the other day, I know how to go to Northwest. I know how to go to South Roanoke. I know how to go to Northeast and Southeast. You know why? Because I know how to change the environment. I change my tone depending on the setting that I'm in. A lot of people don't know how to change the culture because they so used to being one-sided. But I'm a sheriff for all people. So if I need to put my Timbs on, I'll put my Timbs on. If I need to put on my loafers and my suit, I'll put my loafers and my suit on. But you change the demographics of what you want by the environment that you walk in. If I need to go to a corporate table, I know how to go in there and talk like I'm at a corporate table. Put me in any environment, I'm going to survive. You know, but the churches have got so long gone because they forgetting how to serve.
Yeah.
It becomes a culture of what can you give us versus a culture of how can we serve. And when churches get back to the place where they learn how to serve, and it's not based off the money, but it's based off the servitude, then they'll start to see change. Our community see change. You said it very clearly. As kids, we grow up, we went to church. We had youth leaders. We had people that cared about our kids. They showed up. They took us on trips. They took us camping. We had vacation Bible school because they understood the change that our kids needed.
And what was most important to me, the mothers in the church get busy in the kitchen.
Listen, they got busy, but they also understood the prayer time.
Yes.
Every Wednesday at our church, we got around the circle in the front altar, and we pray for our government officials, our law enforcement, our teachers, our administrative people that got the market. You know, because of the market crash, we all done, right?
Yeah.
So we pray for everybody, but the people forgot how to pray. I know I got this uniform on, and we don't want to talk biblical and stuff like that. I can only give you what's inside of me. No. But we forgot the culture of praying.
Yes.
Prayer changes things. It says it in the Bible. Some things only come through fasting and praying. So the culture of what we need to do is get back on our knees in the face and consult God about some things that we need changed in our city. Because apparently the money is not changing it. Us giving the money to these different entities is not changing it. The gun violence ain't stopping because we're giving away $100,000. Yeah. So what's going to change it? When the people come together.
The guns just getting bigger.
Absolutely. But when the people come together as one and present something to our communities and change the culture of how we view things, I believe we'll start to see change. You know, but we have to learn how to reason together. It's stop being so different and spread. It's not about the Democrats, not about the Republicans, not about the independents, but it's about us as a united front moving our city forward so we can get these people some help. And until we change that, we're always going to be in this state.
What makes a young black boy coming up, right? I'm speaking on you. Say, hey, I want to be a sheriff. What brought that?
So I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't always like that.
Okay.
I grew up in and I just sat here and I almost just teared up so quick, man, because when people see me, they see this uniform, they're like, oh, he was privileged. I wasn't privileged.
Yeah.
I came from a single parent home.
Yeah.
Mom raised 3 kids. All our fathers walked out on us. And so my mom had to do what she had to do to survive. So my dad died when I was in 5th grade. Never knew him. Never met him. Met him one time at child support court. But my mom vowed to give her kids something different.
Yes.
Working 3 jobs. Trying to get a college degree. Because she wanted something different. Even dealing with the trauma and the pain that she was dealing with in her life and from her child. See, people forget about the trauma.
Yeah.
They forget about what took them through, what almost destroyed their lives. And so if it almost destroyed your life as a parent, then guess what? If your kids see it, now they see the drama and the trauma. And so
you
now
putting that right back
come
on
back
them.
on your kids, right? But see, we had to learn how to break generational curses. See, but we get so far about generational curses that we forget about the generational blessings that come along with it. So we had to change the culture. So I wasn't raised in a family where my mom had everything.
You dropping jewels
when I
right
got
now.
To,
keep going.
When I got to a place in middle school, I was bad in middle school. Mr. Ball was my math teacher. He put me out of class. You know, because at the end of the day, I didn't understand what was needed.
Yeah.
I was
you didn't
raised,
have that structure.
I was raised in Ferncliff by people that didn't care about education. And so while we walking from our building trying to get to the school, we had to go through the gang-infested areas of Ferncliff because south side of Ferncliff was bad. And so we had to finagle through that to even get to school.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us didn't even go to school sometimes because we had to deal with the nonsense. So with that being said, man, it wasn't always easy.
Yeah.
But it was like having my Uncle Jeff. It was like having my godfather Greg. And then, you know, people in the community.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you. Did you have any strong mentors? And I feel like all young black men, if they don't have their father, they should have a strong mentor behind them, letting them know which way to go.
My grandfather raised me. My grandfather, even though he punished us, he spanked us at times because we got out of hand.
As he should.
He should have.
Yeah.
I learned how to pick switches when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And he used to tell the boy, you better get you a good one.
Yeah.
So you can beat me with the good switch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it kept me on the straight and narrow.
Yes.
Because they say, spare the rod, spoil the child, spoil the child. So the scripture talks about that, not disciplining your kids, because that's what we have now. Parents are creating friendships versus being parents to their kids. And now we're dealing with that nonsense in the school, because now we're forced to be disciplinaries, which they don't get that type of treatment at home.
And that goes back to gun violence, too.
So it goes
That's
back again
thing.
to gun violence,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, as a man thinketh, so is he. If his mindset is in these streets, that's what he gonna think. But we have to change the culture, the mind. If you think you're gonna be successful, you're successful. I asked a kid today, what you wanna be when you grow up? I wanna be a doctor. What is it gonna take for you to be a doctor?
Yeah.
Because now you need to know.
Start busting those
moves and
Yeah.
learning the anatomy of the body. Why wait till you get to college and start learning it? Learn it now as a kid.
Yeah.
Put the materials in the books in front of our kids to educate them. Our kids are not dumb.
Yeah.
The thing that separates them between everybody else is opportunity.
I always say they're not dumb because they can sing every rap song.
Every song. They can do
If they can
everything. But again, we deprive them of certain things because, again, where they raised at, where they from. They from Carew, they from Lincoln Terrace, they from Westwood. What that mean? It was a kid, J. Sean Page. Mother passed, grandma raised him. Over in Carew, all his life.
Yeah.
Got a scholarship 4 years ago, $300,000 to attend, I think it was Duke. You can't tell me that our kids can't be successful when opportunity is there. Because we have to stay on our kids. No, you're not going out in these streets. No, you're not hustling. You taking your butt to church. I'm going to get you a little job here. But we have to teach them entrepreneur. Teach them, what do you want to do? Go sell T-shirts, sell lemonade, sell water on the street.
Yeah.
If you can take a box of candy that costs $13, but it's 40 pieces in there, you just doubled your profit.
Yeah. We have
So they
to,
don't understand that stuff,
like, when I moved here, when I moved down south, I seen, like, down south, like, in the streets, right? The only thing people will hustle is drugs. And I'm like, man, I seen people hustle waters, everything,
Listen.
and get money. They don't know that it's plenty of money in other things.
A thing of water like this was $4, $4 at Walmart with 36 in the pack or something like that. You just took a $3 pack of water, sold them for $1, and now you just made $36 for whatever. They don't understand the method of.
You gotta make it seem cool,
Right.
to the kids. Like kids have to see, oh no, he's cool. Like when you say you becoming the sheriff and you said all of the struggles you had to go through, was you scared at first? Like, man, what people gonna think?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done so many things around the community, and I told myself, I said, until you put the flyer out that you're gonna do this event, it don't make no sense to the community at all. So my first thing to get over the fears of what I was doing is put the flyer out. I was so nervous putting flyers out for UBU, nervous about putting flyers out for Thanksgiving, Christmas, back to school, get back, right? Because I'm like, Lord, are we gonna raise the money? Do we got enough to feed the community? Can we feed this 350 for Thanksgiving? But the moment we put it out there, the Lord, He always provides.
Yes.
The Lord will maintain anything that He has already ordained. So I prayed about being in a position for the sheriff. And I say, Lord, if it's not your will, don't open up this door. Because there's one thing I don't want to be in is out of my season. There's a season for everything.
Hold on, you got to say that again.
I said to the Lord, I say, I don't want to be out of my season. Because there's a time and place for everything. There's a season for everything. And if it's not my season to be in this position, don't let me get beyond this point. Don't even allow the door to be opened up. So as I was running for this position, I got nervous. Some days I was by myself. I cried. I'm running around the city at 3 o'clock, almost 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to put out signs, knocking on doors up until 12 o'clock at night. Got to be back up at 6 o'clock in the morning for work because I was working a full-time job.
Yeah.
Even running for this position.
Yeah.
So it got weary. But I kept reminding myself, the Bible says, be not weary in well-doing, for in due season you'll reap if you faint not. This ain't for the faint at heart. This ain't for the people that's weary. And if you're going to be worried about it, then why pray about it?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to pray, give it to God, man. And my mom kept me rooted and grounded throughout this whole process because she understood if you put a petition before the Lord, leave it there because He honors it when you consult Him first in the first place. So while I was being nervous about it, crying to her, she was like, you got it.
Like,
it's
as far as like process. Sheriffs and different political people everywhere, right?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of like a good old boy system. people like,
You want to talk about that?
yeah,
You sure?
no, yes, because I want to know, did that make you feel some type of way, or was that a hurdle you had to get over, or you just never seen that, or what was it?
Was it a hurdle? It was a hurdle. People in our city, and I don't knock my city because I love Roanoke City,
Yes.
but people, if they don't want you to be successful, unless they bring you to the top, you're not coming to the top. Because you can rise to the top, but it has to be as they control you.
Yeah.
You a puppet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you when you're going to be on city council. I'm going to tell you when you're going to be the clerk of courts. I'm going to tell you when you're going to be the treasurer. I'm going to tell you when you're going to be the chief of police. I'm going to tell you when you're going to be the head of this library. I control my city. And so when you don't have permission from the people who control the city, and you don't look like the person who they want to control the city, you become a threat to them.
Yes.
And anytime you become a threat to them, they put obstacles in your way to keep you from crossing over those hurdles. So I had to fight. What's that movie? All my life I had to fight. All my life I had to. This process create Color Purple. This process woke me up to really who was really for me, who was against me. And I had to remind myself every day, if God be for you, who can be against you? Because if it's his will, you're going to get there. I didn't have the money in my campaign. We was robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
I was, but the thing about it, the Lord gave me a couple months before I even launched. I kept on saying, you know what? I'm going to buy a new pair of shoes. Some say save your money. As I kept it in the bank. Some say go do that. I was saving my money. I didn't even realize why I was saving my money.
Why you was doing it.
Because the previous sheriff talking about, I'm running again. So I was like, I ain't running against him. That's two Democrats running against each other. They don't even look good, right?
Yeah.
So I waited my turn. The moment I found out he wasn't running, I said, you know what? If I don't take this leap of faith, whoever get in office can do what they want to do with anybody. We at-will employees.
And then you don't have no room to complain.
Listen, on the back of my badge, it says that all sworn persons taking the oath of office, they work at the pleasure of the sheriff. Which means if that sheriff don't want you working for his office day one, guess what they do? They get rid of you. And so with that being said, that's the code, 15-2-1603. You work at the will of the sheriff. So if the sheriff don't want you, guess what? You don't have a job.
So he could just make something up.
Listen, that's the field we work in. You work at the will of the sheriff. So I said at that moment, I have to create opportunity for Hash and my family.
Yeah.
Taking care of my family.
Building legacy.
Right. So if I don't build those legacies for the kids, they see I don't got no kids, but I got nieces and nephews. I got godkids. I got kids in the community that's looking up to this young man, 42 years old, that say he running for sheriff.
Yeah.
And so you had to set the tone for what you wanted. In the Democratic Party, they was very supportive, but you had some ones like, I'm going with what we know.
Yeah.
And I got some other ones like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance and a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And so I had to rally myself around the people who say, you know what? I'm going to give you this opportunity to make this city look good.
And that's a good thing that you shaking things up in the town. And people already know you from already being in the community, doing events with UBU, your company. Speak on that first. So that UBU thing.
You know, again, before I even got the position as sheriff, my motto was always take care of your city. Because if you take care of the people in your city, they'll take care of you. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a publicity stunt for me. It was always, I remember growing up in my household when my mom didn't have. And sometimes, even though she was embarrassed about certain things, she had to go to the food. Y'all remember that block of cheese, do y'all? Oh, the block of butter.
That was the best cheese, though. That was the best cheese.
And bologna that you had to cut. It came in a roll, and you had to cut it. My mama was never ashamed to have to go get the cornflakes that was in the bag, not the box.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I remember the cornflakes. It was just a white box and it said cornflakes.
See, you know, it was stuff like that our family's like, you know what? We were struggling, but our parents tried to hide so much stuff from us because they wanted us to be successful in life. So the struggle has been real from day one. And I'm just telling you,
but struggle only builds character.
It does. If you're not built to go through things, it'll take you out of here. This position that I'm in now, it's a hard position. I'm not gonna even lie to you, because every day you got the pressure of 200-something odd employees on your shoulder that you're responsible for on a day-to-day basis. And so I take it as an honor to be able to represent those employees, the city as a whole, but we have a responsibility as a department to take care of the ones that's in our custody.
So what do the sheriffs do? Like y'all don't patrol the city, right? It's
So
just the cops.
it depends on what jurisdiction you're in.
Okay.
The sheriff's department has the authority to make arrests in the city because they law enforcement certified.
Yes.
Your sheriff is the law enforcement because I'm an elected official. And elected officials have the authority, right? It's a difference between elected and appointed. The chief of police, I love him, a good guy. He's appointed by the city of Roanoke.
Yes.
But the sheriff is elected by the city of Roanoke, so your elected officials always have the authority. And if you look up the code, your sheriff is the elected official. He is the authority. And so his deputies have the authority. That's why people say, well, they can't pull me over, try him. Speed by a deputy, go through that light, commit a crime in their presence. Guess what? You're going to find yourself in a set of jury handcuffs, right? So the sheriff has the authority. But in our jurisdiction, they decided we're going to have a law enforcement police department and a law enforcement sheriff's office. So we share separate responsibilities. His responsibility is to take care of the streets, the community, things like that. Our responsibility is community, courts, jail, and then civil process services.
Now the jail thing kind of holds a little dear to me. I've been there once or twice.
I don't remember seeing you.
Yeah. But the conditions in there.
Yeah.
What are you doing about the conditions in the jail?
So, like I tell everybody, it's not the Ritz-Carlton.
Of course not.
That's what a lot of people come in here, they think you still living this lavish life. You at the Hyatt Inn, the Hampton, you getting reward points. That's not what it is. It's jail. You committed a crime. And so we have a responsibility to make sure, one, that the jail stay clean. So we're governed by DOC policies. We're governed by DOC policies to make sure that, one, that we do the right thing as far as, people coming into our facility, that we take care of them. So we have standards. We just got through passing a DOC audit a couple of days ago, and we passed with 100%.
My thing is that food. Is it going to get better in there?
So the food has gotten better over a period of time. What happened is a lot of the services in our facility, they're contracted out through different vendors.
Yeah.
So you got our food service is contracted out, our medical service is contracted out, our mental health stuff is contracted out. So these vendors take over our facility. Now, I hold these individuals accountable because at the end of the day, if you don't get the job done, we paying you good money to be there. If your medical services are not good,
so they can lose that contract?
Listen, a lot of them are 2 and 3 year contracts. If you don't fulfill the obligation that we asking for, we are locked in that contract. But they up for RFP. Every last one of them, from our food vendors, our medical, a lot of our licensed contract, our mental health. So if you can't deliver a service, guess what? Our commissary, if you can't deliver, you're going to get an exit plan. And I make it clear day one, if the city of Roanoke is paying you well to deliver a service, if you don't step up, guess what? We're going to do an RFP and get somebody else in here to replace you. I made it clear across the board. So the food has changed, and we're changing the culture of the food in the facility. But once again, this ain't McDonald's have it your way. I mean, Burger King, right? Or go to McDonald's and get you a 3 for $3 or burger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
DOC gives us a menu that we have to abide by calorie count. And the calorie count meets those standards day by day. If not, we wouldn't be operating. Yeah. So again, it's not A1 service. Yeah. But it's B. It's B plus service. Yeah. Can we get better?
As good as it can get.
We can get better.
Yeah.
And I'm working on that now. So just to let you know, medical the same way. Mental health is near to my heart. That's the same way.
And like the the revolving door.
Yep.
What can be done to make people stop coming in and out of these places?
Well, we have to create opportunity for these people. You come into the facility, and we don't offer you nothing before you leave. You come in and do your time, because at the end of the day, it's a revenue building for the city as well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Because the jail has to run.
Yes.
So when they commit their crimes, they have to be paid for. The staffing of the deputies, the staffing of the medical, the staffing of the kitchen. So it has to create a revenue as well. So I told them day one, my commitment is to talking about recidivism, changing the culture of how we treat people when they come into our facility, and then how we release them back out into society. So we're changing the culture on the services that we deliver to them.
But society needs to do something too, right? As far as like these jobs, especially high paying jobs, they won't hire somebody that has a felony.
So we're changing that too. Like, was it June the 16th? I got a vendor meeting for all of our community partners who saying they bring something to the table. At 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock that morning, we're meeting in the city's EOC EOC room, something like that.
You said June
16th.
June 16th.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, any person in the city of Roanoke that says, I have something that I want to offer the inmates in Roanoke City Jail, this is your opportunity to come and let your voice be heard. Because what we won't do is keep on playing games with folk.
Yeah.
They get on social media. We offer amazing services, but then when it's time to go to work, everybody disappearing. I vowed day one coming into this job. One, I had to get in there and assess where we was at.
Yeah.
I realized some of the deficiencies that were stopping our agency from going forward. I got rid of those individuals and those practices. We put new policies in place so we can move forward. It's like buying a house.
Yeah.
I found the land, right?
Yeah.
I assessed the land. I realized with this land that I wanted to purchase this house. January 1, I bought the house. So then I came in, I needed to do some renovations, right? So I had to realize, I needed fixtures replaced and things like that. So we started replacing employees, people who we knew can get the job done. Now I got to build the value of this house now.
Yes.
And so that's what we're doing. We're putting practices in place to move forward.
Yes.
And so if we don't give these people opportunity before they're released to go back into society, we're failing these people.
Yes.
So we got a program coming out September the 5th. It's called the Ignite program. It's inmate growth through natural education and services, right? We're giving them resources that's given to us. Verizon is one of our partners. We got Trinity Food Service, which is one of our partners. I just met with the guy from Red Robin. I met with the guy from Wendy's. Met with some of our mental health workers. TAP is a part. They're on board with us. Goodwill is on board. Got Virginia Cares. There's another entity that just started in the city of Roanoke that I spoke to this morning. And so these people are welcome to the table. If you got a service, we're going to work.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, the Alpha program just came back. So they can get them resources and help, especially those on drugs and, abusing alcohol. So they're court-ordered to go through this program. Then we have the reentry program that we starting in 1G, and we vet those individuals in. So if you in like 90 days before you get out, we transition you to 1G so we can get you some help. Resume building, communication skills, how to do your finances. If you can't take care of your money, what you gonna do? You gonna blow it.
Exactly.
Get you $100, you done with it in a day, right?
Yeah.
So teach them how to save their money, how to work their money. So these programs are coming into place, but we need people like-minded that don't mind coming to the table. And so I don't want to make this a political game.
Yeah.
If you come in for a political reason and you want to say, because I'm running for council or something like that, you're not welcome. Because it's not political to me. This is about lives, saving lives. And if we can save these lives, let's go to work.
You know what? This just came to me. I really feel like you got like the spirit of North C. Taylor.
Should I raise my hands and receive it?
Nah, I'm dead serious.
Like, should I receive,
can I receive you that? Got like the spirit of North C. Taylor. Because you trying to do things for the community, because you live in the community. Like a lot of these people, a lot of these politicians don't live in the community. So they don't see what's going on. They don't see the things that the people in the community are complaining about. So it takes somebody from the community to see and be like, hold up, nah, I know they telling the truth because I seen this or I seen this happen to me. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all can get caught up in nonsense if we let it happen.
It's easy.
But we have to protect ourselves, protect our rights. You have rights as a citizen. And don't let nobody take your rights away from you. Stand up for your rights. If you know we ain't supposed to be doing certain things, the question is on it.
That's what I be telling Jordan. I got rights, man. He be trying to step to me too much.
Tell him about it, No, but as a city, man, we have a responsibility to take care of our city. And when you got such great pull on your city, we have to watch the things that we do because people watching us, even though they don't say it. I had a millionaire that on my Facebook page, and I didn't know they was even following me. and they say, I followed you for about a year. I didn't say nothing. I watched what you put on social media, watched the things that you said, watched the people who you surrounded yourself around. And the reason why I connected to you, because I like what you was doing, and it was positive. You got to know them that labor among you. You got to know who watching you. And some people that's watching you ain't going to say nothing about it until it's time for them to step up and say, you know what, I'm going to support you. So I tell our kids all the time, watch your surroundings. You can't let everybody into your circle, because some people don't deserve to be there. They don't deserve to take your peace away from you. Some people are peace blockers. They want to take your peace from you. But, man, life is good, man. This position is good. Society that we represent is good. We have to just make sure we take care of each other. I'm all about taking care of our community that we serve.
And before we close out.
We closing? I'm just playing.
Oh, I mean, we could be here all night. But now I really wanted to do this interview, right? Because I feel this could be impactful for our community, especially the people I represent. I want to I did this to shed light on certain things. Because we have a hidden enemy. I'm being real political right now. Right? We have
running for office.
We have a hidden enemy. And we have to overcome it in all ways. Like, we start to think that certain things ain't cool, or we just think one way. Let's attack from all ways and build our community up. And y'all know where y'all heard it first. On the New Wabu Order podcast, Let's Grow. Got Antonio Hash right here.
That's right.
And Jordan is still a sucker. And that just will never change. And Wayne Hancock is a sucker. That would never change.
I like it.
My man.
Like it. Thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
There you go.